Without friends, no one would choose to live, though they had all other goods. Aristotle. Friendship, Aristotle argues, is not just an enhancement of life, it is one of its fundamental pillars. In books 8 and 9 of the Nicomachean Ethics, he undertakes a profound exploration of friendship, probing its nature, types, and role in human flourishing. For Aristotle, friendship is both a deeply personal bond and a social virtue, one that reflects the very essence of what it means to live well. At the core of his analysis is the recognition that humans are inherently social beings. We do not thrive in isolation, and the quality of our relationships profoundly shapes the quality of our lives. Aristotle begins by categorizing friendships into three types: those based on utility, those based on pleasure, and those based on virtue. While all three can be meaningful in different ways, he reserves the highest regard for virtuous friendships, those grounded in mutual respect and a shared commitment to the good. Friendships of utility are by their nature pragmatic. They arise when two individuals find each other useful, whether as business partners, collaborators, or simply neighbors who lend a helping hand. These friendships serve practical purposes and often dissolve when the mutual benefit ceases. Although these connections are necessary for the functioning of society, they lack the depth and permanence of more meaningful relationships. Friendships of pleasure, meanwhile, are built on shared enjoyment. These are the bonds we form with those who make us laugh, share our interests, or accompany us in leisure. While often delightful, they too are transient. When the pleasure fades, whether due to changing circumstances or interests, the friendship often fades with it. But virtuous friendships stand apart. They are not driven by what one person can gain or enjoy from the other, but by a deep appreciation for the other's character. In a virtuous friendship, two individuals care for each other's well-being for its own sake, not as a means to an end. Such friendships, Aristotle argues, are rare, for they require time, effort, and the alignment of virtues. Yet, they are also the most enduring and fulfilling, serving as a mirror in which we see and refine our own moral character. Through these distinctions, Aristotle reveals a profound insight. Friendship is both a personal good and a social necessity. On a personal level, it nurtures our emotional and intellectual growth, providing the context in which virtues, like honesty, courage, and generosity, are most fully expressed. On a societal level, it acts as the glue that holds communities together, fostering trust, cooperation, and a shared sense of purpose. Aristotle's exploration extends to the dynamics of unequal friendships. Can a ruler and a subject, or a parent and a child, truly be friends? He acknowledges that such relationships are inherently imbalanced, but suggests that they can still embody aspects of virtuous friendship if grounded in goodwill and an appropriate understanding of roles. In these cases, the stronger or more virtuous party must take on the greater responsibility for sustaining the bond. Yet, even among equals, maintaining a virtuous friendship is no easy task. Aristotle emphasizes the importance of reciprocity, trust, and honesty. A true friend, he insists, is not someone who flatters, but someone who challenges us to grow. They are willing to speak difficult truths, not to harm, but to help, acting as a moral compass that guides us toward greater self-awareness and integrity. This dynamic mirrors Aristotle's broader vision of the good life. Happiness, or eudaimonia, is not a solitary achievement, but a shared endeavor. It is found not in isolation, but in connection, not in self-interest, but in mutual striving for the good. Friendship, in this sense, is both a reflection and a realization of our highest aspirations. But what of those who claim to be self-sufficient, who see no need for friends? Aristotle dismisses this notion as a misunderstanding of both human nature and happiness. Even the most self-reliant individual, he argues, desires companions to share in their joys and sorrows, their successes and struggles. Friendship, he concludes, is not a sign of weakness but of strength, a testament to our capacity for empathy, cooperation, and love. By grounding his analysis in the realities of human nature, Aristotle provides a timeless framework for understanding the complexities of friendship. His insights challenge us to reflect on our own relationships. Are they built on utility, pleasure, or virtue? Do they nurture our growth and align with our values? And how can we cultivate the kind of friendships that enrich not just our lives, but the lives of others? In considering these questions, we begin to see friendship not as a luxury, but as a necessity, an essential part of what it means to live well. Aristotle's examination of friendship delves deeply into its moral and emotional dimensions, presenting it as both an individual virtue and a societal cornerstone. He highlights the necessity of friendships not only for personal well-being, but also for the stability and harmony of communities. Through this lens, friendship becomes a binding force that transcends individual relationships, fostering trust and cooperation on a larger scale. At the heart of Aristotle's analysis is the recognition that friendships of virtue, those based on mutual goodwill and a shared commitment to the good, are the most enduring and meaningful. Unlike friendships of utility or pleasure, which are contingent on external factors, virtuous friendships are rooted in character. They are partnerships in which each person seeks the other's well-being for its own sake, creating a bond that is both deep and resilient. However, Aristotle is keenly aware of the challenges inherent in such relationships. He emphasizes that true friendship requires equality, not necessarily in material terms, but in moral character and mutual respect. When this balance is disrupted, whether due to differences in virtue or external circumstances, the friendship may face strain. Aristotle does not shy away from these complexities, but instead offers a framework for navigating them with honesty and compassion. One of the most striking aspects of Aristotle's philosophy is his emphasis on the role of friendship in moral development. He describes friends as mirrors, reflecting our virtues and flaws with clarity and candor. Through their encouragement and critique, they help us to recognize areas for growth and to strengthen our commitment to the good. This dynamic makes friendship a powerful catalyst for ethical improvement, not merely a source of emotional support or companionship. In this context, Aristotle addresses the delicate balance between self-love and love for others. While self-love might initially seem antithetical to friendship, Aristotle argues that it is, in fact, a prerequisite. To be a good friend, one must first cultivate virtue within oneself. This self-respect enables us to give generously to others without losing our sense of identity or autonomy. This balance is particularly important in relationships where there is an inherent inequality, such as between a mentor and a student or a parent and a child. Aristotle acknowledges that these relationships can still embody aspects of virtuous friendship, but require a greater degree of effort and understanding from the more experienced or powerful party. Such relationships remind us that friendship is not a one-size-fits-all concept, but a dynamic interplay of roles and responsibilities. Aristotle also explores the emotional richness of friendship, emphasizing that it is not merely a rational partnership, but a deeply human connection. While reason and virtue are central to his ethics, he acknowledges the importance of affection, empathy, and joy in sustaining friendships. These emotional elements are not distractions from the pursuit of the good, but integral to it, enriching the bond and deepening its significance. This emotional dimension becomes particularly vital in times of adversity. Friends, Aristotle observes, provide a refuge during life's difficulties, offering both practical assistance and emotional solace. Unlike material possessions, which can be lost or diminished, the goodwill of a true friend endures, providing stability and strength when we need it most. Yet, Aristotle cautions against dependency, stressing that a virtuous friendship must respect the individuality of both parties. It is not about losing oneself in the relationship, but about supporting each other's growth as distinct and autonomous beings. This respect for individuality is what distinguishes virtuous friendships from those based on utility or pleasure, where the focus often shifts to personal gain or enjoyment. Another critical aspect of Aristotle's philosophy is the role of reciprocity in friendship. True friendship, he argues, is a mutual exchange of goodwill and support, where each person gives as much as they receive. This reciprocity is not transactional, but rooted in a shared commitment to the good. It creates a balance that sustains the relationship over time, even as external circumstances change. In examining these dynamics, Aristotle offers a profound reflection on the interplay between friendship and justice. While justice governs the relationships between strangers and citizens, friendship operates on a more personal level, fostering goodwill and cooperation that extend beyond the bounds of law. Together, justice and friendship form the foundation of a harmonious society, where individuals are united by mutual respect and shared values. By highlighting these connections, Aristotle elevates friendship from a personal preference to a universal principle, essential for both individual flourishing and collective well-being. Aristotle's exploration of friendship in the Nicomachean Ethics expands further when he addresses the interplay between friendship and self-knowledge. In a virtuous friendship, the other person serves as a mirror, reflecting not just our outward actions, but the deeper aspects of our character. This mirroring is not merely observational, it is transformative. Through the eyes of a true friend, we gain insights into who we are and who we might become, prompting both self-awareness and moral growth. This reciprocal reflection is one of the most powerful elements of virtuous friendship. It is not a passive process, but an active engagement where both friends challenge and inspire each other. Aristotle emphasizes that such friendships are grounded in honesty. A true friend is not someone who flatters or tells us only what we wish to hear. Rather, they are someone who speaks the truth with kindness and courage, helping us to confront our flaws and strengthen our virtues. This dynamic makes virtuous friendships both enriching and demanding. They require a willingness to be vulnerable, to accept critique without defensiveness, and to offer it without malice. In this sense, friendship becomes a form of moral dialogue, a shared pursuit of excellence that benefits both individuals. It is through this process that Aristotle's concept of the friend as another self becomes most evident. Aristotle also underscores the importance of balance in friendship, particularly in the distribution of effort and care. A virtuous friendship must be reciprocal, with both parties contributing equally to the relationship. When this balance is disrupted, whether due to neglect, selfishness, or changing circumstances, the bond can weaken. Aristotle suggests that maintaining a virtuous friendship requires ongoing effort and attention, as well as a commitment to mutual respect and goodwill. In addition to its role in self-knowledge, Aristotle highlights friendship as a source of joy and fulfillment. While happiness, eudaimonia, is ultimately an internal state, friendship amplifies it by providing opportunities for shared experiences and mutual support. The joy of being understood, of sharing laughter and conversation, and of celebrating life's milestones with someone who genuinely cares is a unique and profound aspect of human flourishing. Aristotle's focus on joy and friendship is not limited to moments of pleasure or success. He also emphasizes the comfort and strength that friends provide during times of adversity. In these moments, the true value of a virtuous friendship becomes evident. A friend's support can make even the heaviest burdens more bearable, offering both practical help and emotional reassurance. However, Aristotle warns against an excessive reliance on friends for happiness or security. While friendship is a vital component of the good life, it should not replace self-sufficiency or the cultivation of personal virtues. A virtuous friendship complements and enhances our inner strength, but it does not substitute for it. Aristotle's perspective here reflects his broader philosophy of balance, where each aspect of life supports and enriches the others without overwhelming them. This balance extends to the number of friendships one should cultivate. Aristotle argues that it is better to have a few deep and meaningful friendships than many superficial ones. Virtuous friendships, by their nature, require time, energy, and emotional investment. Attempting to maintain too many such relationships can dilute their quality, leaving us unable to fully engage with or benefit from any of them. Aristotle also explores the role of shared values in sustaining virtuous friendships. While friendships of utility and pleasure may thrive on common interests or circumstances, virtuous friendships are rooted in a deeper alignment of character and purpose. This shared commitment to the good creates a foundation of trust and understanding that can withstand the challenges and changes of life. The philosopher recognizes that even virtuous friendships are not immune to conflict or misunderstanding. He advises that such challenges be met with patience and open communication, as the strength of a virtuous friendship lies in its ability to endure and adapt. This resilience is what distinguishes virtuous friendships from their more transient counterparts, making them a source of stability and inspiration throughout life. Aristotle's reflections on friendship also have profound implications for society. In a just community, the principles of virtuous friendship, mutual respect, trust, and a shared commitment to the common good can serve as a model for civic relationships. By fostering these values at both the personal and societal levels, we create a culture where individuals and communities alike can thrive. This interconnectedness between friendship and the broader social order highlights the universality of Aristotle's insights. Friendship, for him, is not merely a private matter, but a public good, essential for both personal happiness and collective flourishing. Aristotle's philosophy of friendship further deepens when he examines its role in shaping human character and fostering a sense of purpose. Friendship, he argues, is not merely a source of emotional support or shared joy. It is a vital context for the exercise and cultivation of virtue. It is through our interactions with others, particularly within virtuous friendships, that our moral capacities are tested, refined, and ultimately realized. This moral dimension of friendship is evident in Aristotle's emphasis on the shared pursuit of the good. In a virtuous friendship, each person seeks not only their own flourishing, but also that of their friend. This mutual striving creates a bond that is both enriching and transformative. The friend becomes a partner in our moral journey, someone who challenges us to act with greater integrity, courage, and generosity. Aristotle also highlights the role of friendship in bridging the gap between theory and practice. Virtue, as he describes it, is not an abstract ideal, but a way of living. It requires action, decisions, and relationships through which our character is shaped. In this sense, friendship is both a stage and a crucible where virtues are not only demonstrated, but also strengthened. However, Aristotle is careful to distinguish between friendships that encourage virtue and those that undermine it. He warns against forming close bonds with individuals whose values or behaviors conflict with our own moral principles. While it is natural to feel affection or sympathy for such people, a true friendship, one based on virtue, requires a deeper alignment of purpose and character. To compromise on this foundation is to risk moral confusion or even corruption. This idea is particularly relevant when considering the impact of friendship on young people. Aristotle observes that the friendships formed during youth are often based on pleasure or shared interests, as young people are drawn to what is immediately enjoyable or exciting. While such friendships can be valuable in their own right, he argues that they should be guided by mentors or parents toward more enduring and virtuous relationships. Aristotle's reflections on youth also touch on the role of education in shaping our capacity for friendship. He suggests that the habits and values instilled in childhood lay the groundwork for the kinds of friendships we are able to form as adults. A person raised with a strong sense of virtue and a commitment to the good will naturally seek out and nurture virtuous friendships, while those who lack these foundations may struggle to move beyond relationships of utility or pleasure. As friendship matures, it becomes a source of profound stability and fulfillment. Aristotle describes this maturation as a process of deepening trust and understanding, where initial affection grows into a lasting bond rooted in mutual respect and shared experience. This process, however, is not automatic. It requires conscious effort and a willingness to engage with the complexities of human relationships. One of these complexities is the inevitability of change. Aristotle acknowledges that people grow and evolve over time, and with this growth may come shifts in their values, goals, or circumstances. While virtuous friendships are more resilient to such changes than those of utility or pleasure, they are not immune. When a friend's character or priorities diverge significantly from our own, the friendship may become strained or even dissolve. Aristotle's approach to these challenges is grounded in compassion and realism. He does not advocate clinging to a friendship at all costs, nor does he suggest abandoning it at the first sign of difficulty. Instead, he encourages a thoughtful assessment of the relationship, taking into account the shared history, the potential for reconciliation, and the impact of the friendship on both individuals' moral development. This balance between loyalty and discernment is a recurring theme in Aristotle's philosophy. He views friendship not as a static commitment, but as a dynamic relationship that evolves with time and effort. This perspective requires us to continually evaluate our friendships, not in a critical or judgmental way, but with an eye toward mutual growth and fulfillment. Aristotle's reflections on friendship also extend to its broader social implications. He argues that the principles of friendship, goodwill, reciprocity, and shared purpose, are essential not only for personal relationships, but also for the functioning of communities and political systems. A society that fosters these values, he suggests, will be more just, harmonious, and resilient. This vision of friendship as a social virtue underscores its importance in Aristotle's broader ethical framework. By cultivating virtuous friendships, we contribute not only to our own flourishing, but also to the well-being of those around us. In this way, friendship becomes a bridge between the individual and the collective, a unifying force that enriches every aspect of human life. A friend to all is a friend to none. Aristotle. As Aristotle brings his reflections on friendship to a close, he turns to the nuanced and sometimes difficult realities of these relationships. While virtuous friendships are the pinnacle of human connection, they are neither common nor easy to sustain. They require ongoing effort, mutual understanding, and a deep alignment of character. Aristotle does not idealize friendship as a simple or universally attainable bond. Instead, he views it as a moral achievement, one that enriches life immeasurably, but demands much in return. One of the most striking observations Aristotle makes is that not everyone is capable of forming virtuous friendships. While friendships of utility and pleasure are accessible to most, virtuous friendships require a level of moral maturity and self-awareness that not all individuals possess. This is not a judgment of worth, but a recognition of the varied stages of moral and personal development. Aristotle advises us to be discerning in our friendships, choosing companions who reflect our values and aspirations. This discernment becomes even more important when considering the influence of friends on our character. Aristotle argues that friends do not merely accompany us on our journey through life. They shape the path we take. Their virtues or vices can profoundly affect our own, making the choice of friends a matter of both personal happiness and ethical responsibility. However, Aristotle also acknowledges the limitations of human relationships. Even in virtuous friendships, disagreements and misunderstandings are inevitable. These moments of tension, he suggests, should not be seen as failures, but as opportunities for growth. A true friend is one who can navigate conflict with grace and goodwill, using it as a chance to deepen the bond rather than fracture it. Aristotle's insights into conflict resolution are deeply practical. He advises that, when tensions arise, we should address them directly and honestly, seeking to understand the other person's perspective while remaining true to our own values. This balance of empathy and integrity is what sustains virtuous friendships through life's challenges. In addition to conflict, Aristotle explores the question of when and how friendships should end. While he holds virtuous friendships in the highest regard, he is realistic about the fact that not all relationships endure. People change, values shift, and circumstances evolve. When a friendship no longer serves the good of both individuals, Aristotle suggests that it may be time to let it go. This process, however, should not be approached lightly. Aristotle emphasizes the importance of respect and gratitude, even in the dissolution of a friendship. The shared history and mutual goodwill that once defined the relationship should be honored, even if the bond itself can no longer be sustained. In this way, the end of a friendship can still reflect the virtues that made it meaningful. Another key theme Aristotle addresses is the balance between self-sufficiency and the need for companionship. While he argues that friendship is essential to human flourishing, he also stresses the importance of cultivating an inner strength that does not depend entirely on others. This balance allows us to engage in friendships from a place of generosity and stability rather than neediness or insecurity. This idea resonates with his broader ethical framework, where balance and moderation are central. Just as excessive attachment to friends can lead to dependency, and excessive focus on self-sufficiency can lead to isolation. Virtuous friendships strike the delicate balance between these extremes, providing a source of joy and support without undermining our individuality or autonomy. As Aristotle reflects on the broader implications of friendship, he connects it to the concept of justice. In a well-ordered society, the principles of friendship, mutual respect, trust, and reciprocity should extend to all citizens. While these bonds may not reach the depth of personal friendships, they create a foundation for social harmony and collective flourishing. Aristotle's vision of friendship as a bridge between the personal and the communal is both profound and practical. It reminds us that our relationships are not isolated from the broader world, but are deeply intertwined with the social and political systems in which we live. By cultivating virtuous friendships, we contribute not only to our own happiness, but also to the well-being of our communities. Ultimately, Aristotle's reflections on friendship offer a timeless guide for living well. They challenge us to seek relationships that enrich our character, to approach conflict with courage and compassion, and to balance our need for connection with our commitment to self-sufficiency. Above all, they remind us that friendship is not a passive gift, but an active pursuit, one that requires effort, discernment, and a shared commitment to the good. As we reflect on Aristotle's insights, we might ask ourselves, what kind of friend am I? What kind of friends do I seek? And how can I cultivate relationships that align with the highest ideals of virtue and happiness? For in answering these questions, we take a step closer to the flourishing life Aristotle envisioned, a life enriched by the bonds of true friendship and guided by the pursuit of the good.